Alright, first and foremost, giving honor and praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. Giving double honors to 7130 South Chicago that taught me this truth. And giving double honors to all the brothers and sisters that the Creator has awoken in these last days. With that being said, peace and shalom. We're going to be talking about, not so much current events. We're going to be talking about the state of our people, which is the nation of Israel, right? And how even though the Creator has woken a lot of us up, you got a lot of our people today, we still struggling with the slave master's version of religious, historical, and religious reality, right? And we still struggling from a religious, political, and a social standpoint of view. I was looking at, I look at a lot of social media and stuff, because that's really the news today, right? And I was looking at a guy by the name of Loose Cannon, and, he's bringing out a lot of gossip and a lot of stuff that's going on in the so-called black community dealing with gangs and, because to my perspective, to my knowledge per se, that he's a Crip, and he's the road around. He was like a right-hand man to this old gangster by the name of Big U. And anybody know, Big U is basically a big figure out there in LA dealing with the rolling 60 Crips, And he's telling a lot of the gossip that's going on with Big U and Nipsey Hussle, and Big U and different other people. And, what he failed to realize is that even though he's telling a lot of truth that's going on behind the scenes with Big U and different fractions and stuff like that, talking about how he used to be the muscle for Big U. But see, he has to pay for a lot of that stuff too. And that's probably why he's telling a lot of stuff, is because he realized, and he already knew that coming in, is that he was wrong for a lot of the stuff that he was out here doing. But see, that's what's happening when you deal with gang politics. When you deal with gang politics, that's what comes with it. You may have to bust a few heads, and you have to deal with a lot of things that you're not proud of. And I don't know how true it is, but he may have killed people too, you know what I'm saying? And he talked about how him and some guys, they had kidnapped Meek Mills, And when I'm looking at that, a guy that's really, not saying that he's not really in the street, but I always thought that it was a code of conduct or a code of secrecy. When you doing stuff like that, you're not going to put yourself in harm's way. Rather, Meek Mill's people may do something, or he may find out wind himself in jail because he's incriminating himself on some things that he did in his past, But that just speaks to our people on how we're still destroyed in this system, and how this system has really turned us into savages. Because when you look at that brother, you would never think that he was involved in something like that, because he looked like he don't even carry himself that way, if you know, we like to use this term for people that's not really affiliated with underworld activity. They call them squares. He really looked like a square, you know, but this boy is a shooter, you know, and he's known for getting active in them streets. So, you know, he's been going at different Crips and things of this nature because he feel like that they don't live up to the code of the streets. And see, like, he also was doing a video talking about basically he wants to bring back the old ways on how guys used to be back in the 80s and the 90s. They used to be doing drive-bys and killing. But who we killing? We killing our own people. That's who we killing. So this what shows you that our people is still suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome. See, the slave system has really destroyed us as a people, but see, we was destroyed even when we was in the land. It's because, see, we never listened to what the Creator was telling us and really didn't understand our role that the Creator has bestowed upon us as a nation of people. See, we never really understood that. And as a result, this is where we at today, you know. And it ain't just that, it's the black church, it's politics. See, look at our people. We fighting with other black people in the name of our gods, which is politics. See, religion, right? We were, you know, I was looking at some guys and they grabbed the guy off the street and asked him who was he voting for, and he said he was voting for Donald Trump because he didn't like Kamala Harris' policies, right? So as a result of that, the guy tried to low-key shame the brother because he felt like since he's a black man, he should be voting for Kamala Harris or the Democratic Party, right? But see, I thought in this country that you have a right and a freedom to vote for whoever you want to vote for, if that's what you want to do, right? But see, this is the stupidity of our people, right? We so destroyed as a people, we're still looking for other people to do something for us that we should be doing for ourselves. See? And we don't understand that we're never going to get that big old giant hug from the so-called white man that we so desire to get. See, this is what we want the white man to say, Jamal, Keisha, right? Big Mama, Granddaddy, that we sorry for slavery. See, we sorry that we put drugs in your community, right? We sorry that we miseducated your kids. We sorry that we set up religions in a community to destroy your people. We sorry that we took all of the programs, you know, out of the black community. Now the young kids don't have nothing to do. They steady killing each other, right? We sorry that we did that. See, that's never gonna happen. We sorry that y'all are fighting each other in the name of the Democratic and the Republican Party. See, this is the hug that the so-called black man and the black woman want from the establishment, but you never gonna get that. And see, when you look at a person in a relationship, right, whether it be a male or a female, well, mainly the female, right? The female can be in an abusive relationship, and whatever the man do, the female gonna always take her back. She gonna always make an excuse of why she can't leave that situation, right? And that's what's wrong with us today. See, instead of us coming together as a group of people or a nation of people, right? We steady looking for other people. Our people, right? It's estimated that we spend about $6 or $7 billion in our communities yearly. And we don't even have enough sense to take a look at that and try to recoup some of that money, come together as a nation of people, just like how Farrakhan and them came up with what you would call the Million Man March. Why a million people can't come together and put up $2 or maybe $5 or maybe $1. You put up $5, a million people, that's $5 billion, right? Why we can't do that? It's because the Creator has destroyed us as a people. That the Creator has destroyed us. But when we look at all the other nations, they do that. And then we'll do it, but we'll do it trying to prop up another people that's not even going through the same struggles as we going through. This how destroyed our people is. So, the first scripture that we're going to be reading from, right? We're going to be reading from the book of Isaiah. I think it's the first or the second chapter. Because, see, this speaks to the destruction of our people and what we was doing when we was in our land, see? Why the so-called black man can't come together with the black woman? Why the black man and the black woman have a deep hatred towards one another, see? It's because when you don't have nationality, you don't have culture, you don't have a language, you don't have a land, see, you're a vagabond, and basically, you add prey to everybody that you come across. Whether the black man or the black woman is religious or she's not religious, we can't fathom in our mind that the Creator would destroy a group of people. And you got a lot of freedom fighters and things of this nature. We trying to come together and trying to rectify the situation, but see, you're not going to be able to rectify it until the Creator take this off you. It's this old movie called Thinner, right? I don't know the actors' names, right? It's this movie called Thinner, where this lawyer, you know, he was a hotshot lawyer, and you know, when you're a lawyer, a lot of them, you know, they hang with each other, whether they go against each other in court or not. They hang with each other, they eat dinner, and it was a group of gypsies, right? They were like, they were nomads. They'd live in one area, and then they'd live in another, and people looked at them like white trash, you know. They looked at them like white trash, but they were gypsies, and they was a family of people, and they stuck together. You know what I'm saying? So one of the guys, you know, they was trying to get fresh with one of the guy's daughters, And they used to have a lot of run-ins with those guys. So one time, the guy, the main character, he was in the car with his wife, and they was messing around, and they accidentally hit the mother of the head gypsy guy. No, not the mother. Was that his mother? Yeah, that was his mother. You know, they hit an old lady, and I think it was the head, the guy of the community, the gypsy dude. I think that was his mother, right? So she got hit with the car, and they killed her. And because, you know, the lawyers, they all roll in a secret fraternity, right? So they conjured up this scheme to railroad them in court. So they went to court, and lo and behold, they railroaded them. All the lawyers got together, and they got off. They got the guy off that actually did that. That actually killed that man's mother. And you know, that man, he was so angry, and rightfully so. When somebody kill your mama, and you go to court, and the people that actually did it, they get off for it, you're gonna be upset about that. So he put a spell on that guy. And basically the spell was, you just gonna get thin, and eventually you gonna die. You can eat, you can do whatever, you can eat all the food you want. It's not gonna work, because the spell that I got on you, it's gonna suck you dry. So in the beginning, the guy thought that he was, you know, because he was overweight. His wife always told him, you gotta lose weight. He was probably about almost 400 and some pounds, you know. He was just a big guy. And then he started kind of losing weight. And he was losing weight so rapidly. At first his wife was excited for him, but she was kind of leery, like, damn, what is you doing that you losing this type of weight? And it went from that to, they was worried. They went to the doctor. They ran all these tests, and they found out that it was nothing really, it wasn't nothing wrong with this guy. And he just kept losing all this weight. And something came over him where later on in the movie, it was because that gypsy guy touched his face. And he didn't just do him like that, he did all the people that was involved that got off, that had something to do with this guy getting off for his mother's murder. So each one of them had some type of thing that he put on them where they would die. So what does that have to do with what we're talking about? It's a curse that the Creator put on our people. And one of the curses is that the nations that we ruled over, they're going to be against us. And another curse that the Creator has put on us is that what? That we're going to lose the knowledge of self. We're going to lose that. Because we wanted to be just like talking about our ancestors, we wanted to be just like the other nations. So now, we are amongst the nations, but the nations don't treat us with no respect. This is why they don't want to give you reparations. This is why you get shot in the street. You seen that situation with Sonya Massey, where the guy shot her 6 times and killed her. Because even though she was trying to throw a pot of boiling water, but you could tell that the woman wasn't in her right mind. She was off in the head. And they knew that because it came out that they had dealings with her. I don't know if those particular cops, but she had a history of calling the police for different situations. So they already kind of knew about her. But even if they didn't know about her, you can tell when a person is off in the head on how they carry themselves, right? So when she threw that pot of boiling water, she wasn't even standing by those guys. And they also got out the way. So if she was a threat, that was the only threat that she had. But the guy pulled his gun out, a Caucasian, and he shot her 6 times. Murdered that woman. And when the other cop tried to go get something to try to help her, he said, she already gone. You don't know that. But the reason why he shot that woman is because, the reason why he shot her like that is because he already had a deep-rooted hatred towards black people. And the black man that I'm talking about is who? The nation of Israel, see? Because the Creator said that these nations wasn't going to show you no ease. That they was going to be forever a thorn in your side, right? And even to this day, this is why we still dealing with this. But see, you got a lot of our people, because, you know, they worship different movements as a god. We always talking about civil rights. Our ancestors died in this country for the right to vote. But that's not really what our people died for in this country. Our people died to have a right to live in some type of freedom in this country. That's really what we was fighting for. We didn't necessarily die for the right to vote. And let's say that for argument's sake that we did do that. But look what the voting situation has done. Has it really helped our people? No. So you can't continue to do what your ancestors doing. You gotta be better than your ancestors. And this is the problem that we have. We want to see, now that's a crutch and an excuse to allow other people to do things for us that we supposed to be doing for ourselves. See, we depend on the white man for education, leadership, economics, and health in our community. Things that we supposed to be doing for ourselves. And look what he's doing. All the gas stations, all the stores, all the schools is ran by other people. When you go to the Asian community, they run everything, see? Because for one, they got culture. And they got enough sense to understand that we gotta control these businesses in our neighborhood. We can't allow these other people to do this. Because if they control the economics, then they're gonna control the monies that's coming in our community. See? Asian people don't be, and they probably vote Democratic, Republican, and Independent, but they have enough sense to pull their resources together to open up things in their community that they need. If they want a hotel, they're going to put their money together. Right? and they have the representative for their community. What the so-called black man is doing. They sitting on television talking about we not just in politics for black people. But if you're not just in politics for black people, then what are you here for? Because every nation of people, I'm not saying that black is a nation, every group of people have their own representative. Where's our representative for the situations that we go? So you got a lot of these Negroes that's in politics, they're holding our people under siege through politics. But why is that? Because of the curse of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And many other things that we're dealing with. Let's look at this, right? Now, this is the prophet Isaiah or Isaiah speaking to the moral corruption of our people during this time, right? So it says, Isaiah, the first chapter, and I'm going to start at the first verse, right? It says, the vision of Isaiah the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Yehuda and Jerusalem. In the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, king of Yehuda, right? Because he's addressing the nation of Israel and the leadership. Because see, if the leadership is bad, 9 times out of 10, the masses of people is gonna be bad, right? Because the masses of people is getting their information or they cussing or the way that they do things from the leadership. And that's what's wrong with our people today, right? Our leaders that's in our community talking about Israel that's still suffering from the slave systems, the voyage of the slave system. We have become corrupt in the system. See? We don't do what we supposed to do for the survival of our people. We do what we supposed to do for the Caucasian, right? So it says, hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth. For Yah have spoken, I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. See? So that's us as a nation. Here's the Creator brought us out of the land of Egypt. He took us through the wilderness and put us in the land that was flowing with milk and honey. And here it is, what did we do? We rebelled against the Creator. See? It says, hear, O heaven, and hear, O earth. The heaven represents the man, and the earth represents who? The woman. So he's talking to the nation of Israel, man and woman, that I have nourished up children, and they have rebelled against me. See? So the rebellion of our people doesn't just start over here in America. This is something that we have been doing because our people have been in captivity under these other nations for almost 3,000 years, 2,500 and something years that we have been in captivity, right, under these nations. So when we talk about slavery for us in the 1600s, that don't start with us. The slavery of our people started in 606 BC under Nebuchadnezzar, because our count goes to when we dealing with the Gentile world power system, because we was already in slavery before that. It has been many accounts of us being in slavery. Why? It's because we wanted to follow the other nations. But we're talking about Judah being in slavery for 2,500 and something years. So our people will sit up here and say, well, you know, our experience of slavery started in the 1600s. No, it didn't. It started in 606 BC. We're giving you the account of our people today, right? It says, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth. For Yah have spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doeth not know, my people doeth not consider." See? So he said that the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, right? But Israel don't know his owner. See? And that's speaking metaphorically of the corruption of our people that was in when we was in the country. See? Corruption dealing with our people don't just start here in America. This started when we was in Jerusalem. But our people today, we so destroyed, we don't even know that we come from the land of Jerusalem. We think today that the land of Jerusalem is really the Middle East. Did you hear Whoopi Goldberg one time? Whoopi Goldberg one time said that she thought that Jerusalem was in the Middle East, and she didn't even know that Jerusalem, the Middle East, is really Northeast Africa. That all of that is quote-unquote African lands, man. She didn't even know that. But why she don't know that? It's because of the educational system in this country. They have whitewashed and changed history. They got you thinking that the Middle East is not Africa. See? They got you thinking that the Middle East is just the Middle East. But the Middle East is the northeastern part of Africa. And that's where the so-called black man comes from. And look at our people. The ox knoweth his owner, and the master his crib, but Israel doeth not know, neither do they consider. And that's the leadership today. Our leadership today is corrupt. They sit up here telling you that Kamala Harris is going to save, she gonna save America. No, she's not. America, do you understand that America is in the Third World War? As we speaking, we're already in the Third World War. And this is the middle stages of the Third World War. This ain't the beginner stages anymore. We're in the middle stages. But we can't see it because we caught up in all this nonsense. Right? Look at the leadership in our communities. Because, you know, even though the Creator didn't put those people as leaders, but they the voice of the community. Look at the civil rights, all these different civil rights leaders today. What are they doing? They use the struggle of so-called black folks to put themselves in position of power. And where did they get that from? They got that from the leadership before them. Because this is what they were doing. Because they have a love affair for the so-called white man. They use our people, the struggles of our people in the inner cities, 50 states, to put themselves in power religiously, politically, and socially. And they don't do nothing for the people. We still talking about racism in the country, which it is still racism, right? But if a man don't respect me as a man, and I feel like he don't like me because of the color of my skin, I gotta start doing things that's going to help me and my people. What is that? I gotta open up a school. I gotta have my own school system. I gotta have my own the economics. I gotta control that. When my kids go outside, I gotta warn my kids to watch themselves because they can be killed by my enemy. But what are these leaders to do today? They don't do that. They telling us to integrate and all this other stuff, but these people that we're integrating with, they're not integrating with us. The Asians, when they come to the community, they don't put nothing in your community because you don't demand them to do it. They take from your community. The white man, he takes from the community. Any nation that comes in the community, they take. They don't give. Right? And why is that? Because the corruption of the leadership. They come out every 4, 8 years or whatever they coming out, whenever they want to get elected or re-elected, then they come and deal with the black man. Well, where are those people at during the 4 years when they're in office? They somewhere eating deliciously. So a lot of the leaders that's in the community, they propped up by the so-called white man to control our people. And we do that on purpose. See, there's no more struggle. See, we live in rich neighborhoods now. We can do that. So, the scripture says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Yisrael doeth not know, my people doeth not consider. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh, they have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward, see? And that's what's wrong with us, see? What it said, transgression of the law. That's what sin is. This is not the first time that we was practicing homosexuality in the community. This is not the first time that we was doing this. You got these old wicked Negroes in the conscious community talking about we got homosexuality from the white man. No, we didn't. We've been doing this. See? When we dealing with trying to do something for the people, we was corrupt at doing that. We've been doing those things. We've been breaking the laws of the Creator. That's why the Creator said what? A sinful nation, a people of evildoers. This is what we was doing in the land. This is why we not there anymore. This is why we not in the land anymore. It's because, see, we are a corrupt group of people. This is why all the nations run your neighborhoods. It's because of the sins of our ancestors and the sins of us today. We have been corrupted. So, you know, Isaiah, he was speaking to the corruption of our people. See, so us being corrupt, that's not nothing new. So what is this, all this stuff about the white man and all this? We got to look at ourselves in the mirror. Our leaderships is corrupt. We got brothers in the nation of Israel today talking about, they looking at what we was doing 2,000 years ago, saying that it's proficient of us today. See? Well, what are we talking about? Raping women. See? How we used to grab women up and just force ourselves upon those, talking about the Creator ordained that. See, we corrupt, man. Why would you want to do a female like that? Then us sitting around here talking about, you know, Paul said, Paul didn't do everything right. And the other leaders in the nation of Israel didn't do everything right either. Now, if I come along, see your daughter, and grab her up over here and force myself upon, you're going to want to kill me for that. You can't do that here, brother. Well, I thought you said that we supposed to keep the law. And if that's the situation that's going on, then you're supposed to be okay with it. We're supposed to keep that in secret. But this is how hypocritical we are. If somebody did that to your daughter, you'll want to kill that person. So that's why the Creator was saying what? A sinful nation, a people that's laden with iniquity, man. So what was he saying? We was smothered in sin, y'all. we weren't righteous people. See, we got this notion that the nation of Israel was a righteous people. No, they weren't. We was a corrupt people. That's what we were. And we still corrupt today. So going back to that movie, Thinner, you know, he was doing anything. He went and talked to that guy. Man, please take that off of me. He said, man, I'm not going to take it off. I can't take it off. You know, when it's up, it's stuck. You know, just a little humor. How we say when it's up there, it's stuck. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no coming back. See? That man kept losing weight. He kept losing weight, y'all. His face started to draw in and all type of stuff. Because he had to deal with the punishment that he had did. You can't kill nobody and just because you're a lawyer and the lawyers ain't nothing but a bunch of Masonic lodges in the first place. They come together and they help one another, but they can't do that for the other people. See, you get up tens of thousands of dollars and you still go to jail, right? Millions of dollars, you still go to jail, right? So that man, whatever he did, he couldn't get that curse, but they had to strong arm the gypsy guy in order for him to break that curse off of him. See? So what is the Creator telling us today? That a lot of us, man, the curse of Deuteronomy 28 chapter, a lot of our people is going to come into the remembrance of that, but they still going to suffer. They still ain't going to want to leave America and wherever they scattered at. We talk about racism, we talk about all this stuff, but we don't want to leave. You know why? It's because we can't leave. See? The only way that we're going to leave is if the Creator allows us to leave, brothers and sisters. So with that being said, we're gonna conclude this discussion today. On to the next. Shalom.